That's like my out. But again, I mean, people block me for a reason. People mute me for a reason because I'm not for everybody. I mean, I definitely push some buttons on there. Do I mean to? No, I try to do it in a jovial way. But I certainly definitely pick some people on their bad days, and I kind of cross that line unintentionally.
Yeah.
But once I do cross that line, I definitely get myself in trouble because I will not hold back on how I feel about anyone or anything.
And that's why we love you. I apologize. I forgot to go live during my song, so we cut off a little bit there, but we got
Okay,
the
yeah, no
gist of
worries,
it.
no worries. Yeah,
We
no
got the
worries.
gist of it. Usually the last time I did a talk show, I had Che host it because I didn't want to deal with any of this stuff. And Che's a lot better with that than I am. I'm just here to look good and be goofy.
There
So
you go. There you go. I'll tell you what. When I saw your intro to see some of those pictures of those people, I kind of feel honored to actually be on this show. Yeah, there were some good people that was in that promo there.
yeah,
So yeah, but yeah, it's good to finally talk to you. I know you've been through a lot, and you know, I that was the thing. Let me ask you a question though.
sure.
Have you always been collecting, or were you a recent collector? Like how?
I, I've always been a collector. Toys when I was a kid, I still have my Star Wars figures.
Nice, nice.
Um, I collected comic books, collected coins. I still have those cards. It was from like 87. My dad got us into cards to like 92 with baseball, but then I got into like basketball and football more like 94, 95. And
Yeah,
then it was like comics, mostly
yeah.
comics and collectible card games like Magic the Gathering and
Oh, nice.
all those. And then I was out of cards until 2011. My brother was collecting heavy and he wanted me to get back in with him. So I've been collecting since 2011. So I had that like 15-year gap, but I've been collecting for the last 11 years.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, it's been kind of off and on, but I've always been collecting something. I'm just one of those,
Gotcha, gotcha.
I like everything and I want to have, I don't know. I like stuff. And you can see on my guest bed, like the boxes of cards I got to
Yeah, there you go,
sort.
there you go.
Yeah, I could probably, yeah, I got to go through all that.
Nice, nice.
Finding racks for people, finding cards that might sell for
Yeah, yeah,
like a couple bucks, and I could do a PWE to ship it because I was always scared of doing the plain white envelope shipping. But now I'm kind of like, I'm gonna try it. If I have a $3 card I don't care about, why
yeah,
not
yeah.
get rid of it? So that's kind of why it's so messy. But what about yourself? How long have you been a collector?
Yeah, and that was the funny thing is, I mean, the pandemic made me a collector again. Unfortunately, I blame Tony Bips one on Twitter, and I blame Scotty Ballgame, Scott Green. I blame both those guys for pulling me back into collecting. I mean, I was that kid. When I was younger, I was a paperboy route guy. And you had those mom and pop stores on the corner, so I would go in and buy my cards. And then I got to the point where like he would purposely order cards for me and boxes of cards for me,
Nice.
and and on my route at the end of the week, I would go in and buy my boxes of cards, and like 84 was a big year for me. 87, of course, the cardboard, the board. I still love. A lot of people hate that border. I love the 87 border. But and ironically, that was one of the sets that I never actually finished as a kid. I literally still had the checklist of all the missing cards that I had. And yeah, I went on Twitter and I put a screenshot up there of the missing cards. And yeah, and true to form, the hobby came together and got me all the cards I was missing for that 87 set. So
Nice.
it was pretty cool to actually finish that after 87, I was 14. So I started that when I was 14, and then in 2020, I'm I'm knocking on the door 50 years old, and I'm finishing the set, which was kind of cool.
It is kind of
So
cool.
yeah,
So you're the same age as my oldest brother. He was born in 73. So
yeah, yeah.
yeah. Yeah, we
Yeah, that's one of my goals. I keep talking about it, and I had a couple guys that have mentioned it to me on Twitter. I do actually want to do that birth year set, but 73 is probably a little harder with some of the guys that are actually in that set.
mhm.
But yeah, it's on my list. I see. I'm one of those guys where like because of the undiagnosed ADHD, I'm like, squirrel, squirrel. I'm like, so so, I always stayed with my like regular my main PCs when I was growing up. It was Donnie Mattingly, it was Will Clark, and it was Barry Bonds. Those were my three guys that I'll always collect. But then and then I got into weird stuff during the pandemic. Like I was collecting Turkey Reds. I was collecting Danny Mendick autos.
I
You know what I
remember the
mean?
dolt for Mendick.
I still, I literally was doing hashtag do it for Mendick. So like,
Yeah.
and my goal was to get to 100 Danny Mendick autos. I think I got to like 82. I think
Wow,
I'm
that's
currently at.
crazy.
But it's actually absolutely insane that I got to that many. And then all of a sudden I hear that he get DFA'd. I'm like, oh man.
Yeah.
But hey, he's definitely a solid backup. I mean, he's probably not an everyday player, but I mean, he could definitely pick it at second base and shortstop. So hopefully he catches on with somebody. But and that was the funny thing is I literally I thought his autograph was funny because basically it wasn't an autograph. It was just him writing his name. You know what I mean? But
That was my first autograph, was just me writing my name. Yep.
and I was like, I just thought it was an oddball autograph. So, and then all of a sudden, I just start collecting them. But nowadays, now you look at some of these autographs, the guys aren't even writing their name. They're like it's an X or like it's a letter or it's just a scribble. It's like I was like, how is that considered an autograph at this point? But
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
they get pressure to. We got Mike Minato. What's up, Mike?
Oh, is Mike on, my buddy?
Yeah. Yeah, so you started paperboy route. My dad, we started cards and coins in the mid 80s. Then
Yeah.
he had a convenience store and he would stock cards. So that's where we kind of got that. I just broke the last box from the convenience store. It was
Oh wow,
92
wow.
triple play, which is just a terrible set.
Yes. Yeah.
He had Donruss, he had Leaf, he had triple play, and he had Upper Deck from 92. Those were the last boxes. And the Upper Deck's fun, but the Donruss was just bad.
Yes.
Like junk wax. But the Leaf was fun because they called them the black cards. They had, the black border cards. But that brings me to something that you don't care much about, and that's parallels. Why do you hate parallels so much?
And I mean, I died on this hill a long time ago on Twitter, but I mean it's I don't know, because you look at the picture of the card, right, and you have a picture of the card, and you look at the base. And basically, all it is it's just changing that border and changing the color of the border and putting a number on the card. But in essence, isn't it really the same card? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I like to say that it's exponentially worth more because somebody put a number on the card or somebody made it a different color, and they're trying to say that, oh well, it's numbered, so or it's colored, so there's not that many of them. But there really is, like I just look at all the cards as being the same card. It's just in a different format, if that makes sense to
Yeah, no,
anybody.
I get what you're saying.
And there's a few people that kind of agreed with me to a certain extent, but I definitely died on that hill on Twitter. Yeah, a lot of people are like, yeah, I don't know what the hell you're talking about, but see, but you have to, but then you have to understand, when we were kids and when we first started, a rook. I mean, Don Mattingly had 3 rookie cards. There were Donruss, there were Fleer, and it was Tops.
Yep.
Like you didn't even count Leaf, or you didn't count Kmart cards, or you didn't count it. Like you counted the 3 majors, and then that was it.
Mm-hmm.
And of course the Donruss was the king all be all back in the day. I remember clear as day going in, and I was contemplating buying a Mike Schmidt rookie or a Don Mattingly 84 rookie, and they were both, and ironically, they were both about the same amount of money. It was about 100 $150 to a
Hmm.
certain extent, and I just couldn't justify spending that kind of money on a baseball card. And nowadays, there's thousands of. When I saw some of these cards going for five figures, and these
Yeah,
guys haven't even stepped on the major league field yet, it's mind-boggling, man. It's
it is
mind-boggling where
so
the
weird
hobby
to
has
me.
gone.
It's so weird.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's
But I did check it off my bucket list. I mean, eventually I got my '84 Donnie
mhm.
Mattingly, and then actually this year I actually wound up getting two Schmidt rookie cards. I mean, one's a PSA 4, one's like a what's the other one? SGZ SC,
GC.
SGC. Thank you,
Mhm.
SGC 3. But hey, at least I got them, So,
Yeah.
but
That
yeah,
was for
so
me. I got a Ryan Sandberg rookie, who was my favorite player growing up, and I got it was a PSA 7, and I'm like, I mean, seven's pretty
yeah,
good, you
yeah,
know.
exactly.
People are like 10 or nothing. If
And
it's a
that was the
9,
thing.
crack it. You're like,
I remember as a kid. I mean, I never even thought of grading my cards. I mean, hell, I put them in the binders, and they were double. I used both sides of that
yeah,
binder. There was two cards in each binder, so I could see the pages on each side.
yeah.
Hell, I all the ones I PC'd when I was a kid, they're still in the binders. I've yet to take them out. All the Manleys and Will Clarkson bonds, they're
Yeah.
still in the original binders from what 40 years ago now,
Yeah.
30 years.
Yeah.
So. But yeah, and I heard there is rumblings that Donnie might get into the Hall of Fame. That would be awesome if he did. I thought he was a hell of a player. Man, that back, man. I never felt so bad when the Yankees won that World Series, and like he couldn't just hang in there one more year, man.
Yeah.
That back just wouldn't hold up for that poor guy. And I never rooted for a player to kind of make it one more year, but yeah. And then, ironically, after Mattingly left the Yankees, then I started to hate the Yankees because they won too. Because then they started to win too much.
The
I
Yankees are my American League team. I had like a hat when I was little. My older brother loved Don Mattingly.
Yeah, yeah.
So when he gave me his cards in like 88, and I had a bunch of 86 Don Mattingly's, I think, is when he started collecting. So that was pretty cool. Yeah, Mike says his McGuire USA rookie will be his retirement. I always wanted that card when I was little because the Bash brothers were,
Yeah,
who I
yeah.
was really collecting was the Jose Canseco rated rookie, 86 Donruss. I got one of those for Christmas in 88. My brother sold it on eBay like 10 years ago for $8. you know,
That was one of the rare cards that I actually sold back in the day and actually made money on because
nice.
of such the high demand.
Hmm.
I mean, yeah. I mean, sadly, I was a horrendous gambler when I was a kid. So 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 I sold a lot of my high end cards back then. But hindsight being 2020, it was the right thing to do because now they're at like a dime a dozen now.
Yeah. Yeah, you could go and get him. That's what I was like, the Ryan Sandberg rookie. It was like $30 for a PSA 7. And I'm
Yeah,
just
yeah,
like,
yeah.
that's crazy to me. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
I'm buying like bonds. I'm buying like bonds as like PSA 9s. I'm buying for like $18. I'm like,
Yeah.
give me every single one you have. I don't care.
Yeah. I just like really anything above an 8 is like great, and
Yeah, yeah,
7
yeah,
for an
yeah.
older card. To me, it's just
Absolutely,
like,
absolutely.
this is insane. This card's 40 something years old. Why would I not take a 7? Sandberg should have been a Philly. Well, wasn't he a Philly?
Well, yeah, yeah, he was. Yeah, that was a hard. Oh man, he was a throw-in in that trade. Man, did Dallas Green? It wasn't that. It was Dallas Green that was on the Cubs by then, right? I think he was
I
the one
don't
that produced
remember. It was a little before my baseball watching time.
Abante Jesus and Larry Boa.
Yeah, crazy. So, tell are you still collecting your old players now? Are you still just putting
Yeah,
binders
yeah,
together? Is that your
I
goal?
mean that's the thing. Like I'm still I'm looking for like higher end stuff now. Like I mean I just got a one of the Will Clark said, the famous Stadium Club one when he's standing by the locker, he's in a suit. holding the bat. I don't. Damn, I should
I
have
would,
pulled that
if
one
I
out.
see it, I'd
Yeah,
remember it, I'm
yeah.
sure.
Actually, yeah. I got the one. It's a refractory. It's an auto. It's a PSA 10. It's a pop one.
Nice.
And yeah, I saw that in my LCS, and I waited him out because he was at a price, and I was like, okay, I like Will Clark, but not that much. And I waited him out a little bit, and he went down, and yeah, he got to a number where I was comfortable in buying it. And yeah, I jumped on that. But and like and when the Project 2020 cards came out, I have like I have a one of the Shure Mattingly's, and I have Mattingly's autograph on that.
That's cool.
So I think yeah, so I think that one. I I don't know if they're holding their value, but at least the Shures were a low pop. So especially with Mattingly's autograph on it, so
Yeah.
that should probably hold its value. But yeah, that's the thing. The one thing I'm missing in my collection of my old school guys is that I'm definitely missing a Bonds auto. Um, I try to pick and choose and try to look. There's so much counterfeit stuff out there nowadays. You don't know
Mhm.
what's what. But some of the stuff that's going out there for autos for Bonds, oh my, I can't justify paying some of those prices.
No. Yeah, he doesn't sign or he doesn't give his
No, no,
license.
no,
He's like
no.
kind of over the entire
Yeah,
baseball thing.
yeah,
So it's
yeah,
like,
yeah,
yeah, those cards go for crazy amounts. Just,
yeah, yeah.
like a
So
relic or a bat chip, it's like
yeah, yeah.
100
So
something bucks. And you're like, what?
yeah, yeah. And I sold some of those cards where I had like a home plate from when he hit a home run, or like you said, the bat relics, and I sold some of those. And I kind of, hindsight being 2020, I wish I would have held on to some of those. But that's the thing, though. You come and go in this hobby, and you sell what you can. And the funny thing is, I have so many boxes in there because in 2020 I just went all out and was just
Yeah.
buying. I was just buying and buying and buying and buying. I was drowning in Mosaic basketball,
Yeah.
chasing the Morants, and
Yeah, the
and
Zion.
Zions, and I never really hit anything big in those. I got a bunch of base out of them, but it was funny because I my OCD was kicking in, and all the boxes I ever had, I never actually threw out any of the boxes. And one day I think I posted on Twitter too. One day I all the empty boxes I had, I took a picture. I think it took up like a half of the wall in my apartment.
Wow.
It was like insane, and the amount. And I was like, man, if I could
I'm
only have
kind of
back
the
like a
same way. I'm gonna see if I could get the trash can.
yeah,
That's
there you go.
empty boxes, that's empty packs, that's everything that I've smashed down to try to get out of here. Because I'm like, I don't need the 1992 upper deck
Yeah,
box.
yeah.
I don't need it.
There's no need for it. Yeah. I mean, at first I was like, oh, well, I'll keep these because I'll ship out stuff here and there. Yeah, because I was sending out some cards here or there, but I haven't really been doing much of late, sending out cards. I try to sell on. I've never actually sold a card on eBay.
Oh, yeah.
I bought a ton on eBay. I don't have an eBay store per se, but I don't know. I post on Twitter every now and then if somebody buys something, but I'm not really actively. That's the funny thing. Is like I say I'm a collector, but I'm not really. I don't think I think I'm more toes out of the hobby than toes in the hobby, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. Like I'm a sports guy. I'll always be a sports guy. I mean, baseball and basketball are my first two loves. They're like 1 and 1A. As far I'll always be a diehard Sixers fan, diehard Phillies fan.
Mhm.
Football to a much lesser extent, and then hockey. I just appease my brother and watch hockey.
I'm kind of the opposite of you. Football number one, hockey 1A, Broncos, Avs,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then Rockies and Nuggets kind of like further back. But the Nuggets, when the teams are good, it's a lot easier to pay
Oh,
attention.
sure, 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 sure. Yeah,
Colorado has bad teams, and when they're bad, they're real bad. Like the
yeah,
Broncos
yeah.
have been real bad.
Yeah, I
The-
can't believe how big. I mean, everybody and their grandmother in Philadelphia wanted Russell Wilson, And
Yeah,
then I can't believe how bad he is. I don't understand. I mean, is it coaching? Is it him? Like
it's got to be
what's
the system. It's got to be the
I
new coaches. It's got to
it's
be,
crazy, right?
yeah. I'm not. I mean, he's bad. I
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
think
yeah,
he's gonna be bad forever. You know what I mean?
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
having hope, that he will turn it around or they'll turn it around, in the next year or two. Um, but yeah, it was like Bronco, we didn't expect our defense to be that good, and we didn't expect our offense to be
Yes,
historically
yes,
bad.
yes,
So
yes,
this
yes.
has been
Yeah,
really
yeah,
a
yeah. And
hilarious
that's
season.
yeah, that's yeah, that's I mean when they're arguing on the sidelines with each other, that's not a good thing. But I wouldn't be surprised if that coach gets fired shortly.
Yeah, he just is an embarrassment.
Yeah,
The
yeah, yeah,
beginning when
yeah.
you're a meme and you just
Yeah.
keep getting memes, things need to change. So it's the
Yeah,
Hackett memes,
yeah,
and then they went to the
yeah,
Russell memes.
yeah, yeah,
So it's like, yeah, things got to change because
yeah.
you don't want that to be what people think of as the Broncos.
He was just posting the wrong stuff on social media after those games, you know.
Oh, he's such just a not aware of what's going on.
Yes,
you
yes, yes.
know?
I mean, I'm assuming it's not him posting that. He has to have a
Yeah.
social media team, but they gotta get it together. Those guys.
And the sandwich. I mean, I'm kind of like withdrawn. It's like I don't even want to watch my Broncos, and
Uh,
I'll suffer through it and not upset my heart. Just
yeah,
going in
yeah,
knowing
yeah,
like
yeah,
they're gonna lose, bet against them and be happy, and if
yeah,
they,
yeah.
yeah, that kind of deal. So yeah, because I think you and I had gotten into a little argument about Jokic and Embiid about MVP. I think you and I were like a little
Oh
bit of
yeah,
back
I'm always
and
going to be a homer.
and good, yeah. It was a good fun,
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah,
a little back and forth. So that's how I knew you, like you were really into the
yeah,
basketball
yeah,
and
yeah.
the Philly area. How many
You
times have
know,
you been to the Rocky statue?
oh man, I probably can't count.
Sorry,
Well,
I love Rocky. That was what
the funny
we
thing is
watched those.
they moved it so many goddamn times. It was in front of the Spectrum, then the Art Museum. Now it's at the side of the Art Museum. Then they had it in storage for a very, very long time. So yeah, because back in the day, to go to the Art Museum, that's where you took the ladies back in the day when you were a teenager. So,
Nice.
yeah, when the statue was over there, it was commonplace. You would just walk by it and not even pay attention.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was in front of the Spectrum for a very long time, and I grew up in South Philly, and like literally, like if I opened up my door and I looked to the left, I could see that stadium. It was like literally like
Right
it was like
there.
a half a block away from my house.
Nice.
So yeah,
That's
so I
awesome.
mean, yeah, so I went to a ton of games when I was younger. And um, I remember my brother knew the security guards at the Eagles games. He used to just walk in, like he never even paid to go in. And my brother would bring a friend. Then he'd bring two friends. Then he'd bring three friends. Then next thing you know, my brother has like 12 friends outside. Security guards like, Jesus Christ, Chris, what are you gonna
Yeah,
do?
we can't. You guys are killing us. Like our buddy Harris, he moved out here. HTV card something where I forgot his Twitter
Oh,
handle.
okay, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Harris. He works for Kroenke, so he does like the gates for Ball Arena and stuff. And
Nice, nice.
I kind of want to go down there one day when he's working, when the Avs are playing or something, to be like, let me have that seat, the
Stick
good
me in.
seat.
Stick me in.
But yeah, that's do you have card friends that are offline, and have you met Twitter friends in real life?
Yeah, yeah. Mike's a buddy of mine in real life, and yeah, he's a car guy with me. Tony
Mhm.
Bips one. Tony Bips one. He actually does he does it's called Bips Rips. He'll rip like old school packs of cards. Like
Nice.
he'll go out and get like the old junk wax, and then he sits there and eats the gum like a crazy person.
I ate the 87 Tops gum.
But
I did do that. It's the flavor's fine. The gum doesn't gum. It's
Yes, yes, yeah.
liquefied and it was rolling down my throat. And I was like, I gotta get it out. I was chewing, it's fine. Having
Uh,
the dissolved gum slide down my
yes,
esophagus,
yes, yes.
no. So
but
Everyone should try it, but
yeah,
no one should do
it's
it.
kind of yeah, it's cool when he does. I don't know if he's done it recently. He had a good thing going there for like a good like a year and a half. Where
Mhm.
yeah, he would just open up the packs, and the guys, they're all from our youth, so he would always have like a good anecdote to talk about the players and stuff.
Mhm.
So yeah, so yeah, and then Scotty Ballgame, Scotty Green, he he was one of the guys. Yeah, because he got me in. I started doing breaks with him, and and stuff like that. And and the funny thing, I start doing razzes on Twitter, and then and the worst thing that could happen was I was winning the razzes. I got like a Wander Franco bat, I got a Fernando Tatis bat, and I wound up like flipping those, and then I bought cards with that money, and then it kind of and then you just assume, oh well, I'm going to win a Raz every time, or
Yeah, it gets
when
you in
I get in a
trouble.
break, I'm gonna pull the I'm gonna get the banger card every time,
Yeah.
but yeah, it doesn't work that way, unfortunately.
No.
And and that was the thing. Like I alluded to earlier, I mean, literally when I was a teenager, I was pretty bad into gambling, and and the longer I got into it, I was like, I was like technically getting into breaks and doing these razzes. I mean, technically that's gambling,
Yeah.
So yeah, and that was another reason too. I kind of like stepped away from Twitter for a while, kind of logged out of my account. I even think some people were like, "Hey, where's Rob at?" And
Yeah.
I think that's when I actually recreated this account because I lost my old account. I couldn't get back into it. But yeah, that's the thing. You have to know your limits sometimes. I can get addicted to watching a paper bag fly around. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah, I
I
do.
just have I just have that personality where I mean right now I'm about I'm about 3 years, 3 months sober.
Mm.
And that was a big deal for me.
Oh, I bet. Yeah. It's
Yeah,
a
yeah,
huge
when I
deal for
yeah,
a lot of people.
oh yeah, yeah. When I was because that was the thing. Like I was always addicted to something. You know what I mean? Where it was drinking, it was drugs, it was gambling, and and that was the thing. As you get older, your body, you're not a teenager anymore. You know
No,
what
you
I mean?
can't recover
And
like
you
that.
had yeah. So when you have a cardiologist and you're still doing stuff like that, and your cardiologist is like, listen, Robert, you're going to kill yourself. One day you have to actually listen to him.
Yeah.
So the ironic thing is when I had that stress test today, it was actually that was like my one last that was the last hurdle I had to get over because I'm trying to get off a couple of my heart medications,
Oh, yeah.
which is pretty crazy to think about because as bad as I was, 3.5 years ago to where I am now, it's but now I just have to work on the eating.
Yes. I was gonna say that. My brothers had terrible addictive personalities.
Yeah, yeah.
They're gone. And yeah, they struggled with addictions all their life. And weirdly enough, I don't. Like I have
Wow.
the
Okay.
bipolar to where I'll get
Yeah.
manic and be kind
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
crazy, and the ADHD where like I was I had a box of 1987 tops and I busted it. A friend bought it for me and I wanted to put the whole set in a binder, and I still have to go through and I'm missing so many cards. But
Oh,
that's why your project reminded me of that. Like I need to get out there
nice,
and get my
nice.
missing cards. But then I just pulled up a Billy Joe Robideau, and it was like that's like one of the best names in baseball.
Yes, yes,
And
yes, yes.
Che was in the chat watching, and we were laughing about it. That night, I bought a Pop 2 PSA 10 Tiffany 1987 Billy Joe Robideau. And then I bought like 3 or 4 like in-person or TTM autos of Billy Joe Robideau. And I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah, he does through the mail, doesn't he?
yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
was like, I'm gonna get all of his cards. I'm gonna super PC him. I mean, that was the end of it. And then I
yeah,
moved on
exactly,
to something
exactly,
else.
exactly. I'm
And you
telling
can
you, man.
see it on my bed. So all the binders back
Oh,
there. You see,
jeez.
that's
Yeah, yeah.
cards to just sort and put through in binders. And but yeah, I don't have addictive personality. Like I could be like playing World of Warcraft video game for like every day, 8 hours a day, and then like the next day I could be like, I'm not playing it for eight
Yeah,
months.
yeah, yeah,
I struggle with eating the bad foods. I don't eat a lot. I
yeah,
just eat
yeah,
bad food.
yeah.
So that's kind of my one real weakness is like I can't give up diet soda and I will sneak something bad, either deep fat fried or sweet. And I just can't do that anymore.
It's
So
so good. It's so good. That's the
yeah,
problem.
but I just saw my brothers, with their addictive personalities and getting in trouble and
Yeah.
what they did to my parents. And I was like, I'm not going to be that way.
Yeah.
And it, kind of helps that I have all those mental disorders that keep me in track too. But I'm very proud of you for, being sober. That's not easy. And
Yeah. I mean, it took a while, but that's the thing, though, is now that you're sober, and now all of a sudden you're just addicted to something else. So
yes,
so for a little while there was baseball cards. Now it's it's not necessarily eating healthy.
yeah, yeah,
So yeah, you got to pick and choose your battles. But yeah, it was a big hurdle for me. Yeah, because it was affecting work. It was affecting relationships and stuff like that. It was affecting my health.
yeah.
I mean, I was one of those guys that you would make plans with me, and it's bad enough that I deal with. So I mean, I've dealt with social anxiety my whole life, and
Mhm.
that's how I coped with it.
Yeah.
Because once you had a couple drinks in you, then I was the life of the party. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I could sit there and I could be comfortable in my own skin. The only problem is that once I got comfortable in my own skin, I wouldn't stop drinking.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a limit. When the bar's closing at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning and you're still drinking, then there's yeah, and then all of a sudden when you're in your house by yourself and you're,
Yeah. I was always
I
the
mean,
DD,
yeah.
so I never
Oh,
really
you were
drank
always
that
the
much.
DJ. Oh, that's perfect. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, just because I couldn't stand to be intoxicated in public. Like I couldn't have that loss of
Yeah.
control. And we got my buddy Gerald, Life of Gerald. He jumped in and he said he doesn't do razzes or breaks. Yeah, they're fun though. It's part of cards is the gamble.
Yes.
So
Yes.
to do it responsibly, like that is part of the hobby,
Yeah. Yeah.
because you buy a box,
Yeah.
you don't know what's in there.
That's true.
So that's part of the hobby to me. But yeah, the way some people do it, credit cards and maxing out, and
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
doing breaks and NT and all that every day. And you're like, how can you afford all this? Like 10 years ago, you could get in a case break of NT for like $40 a team.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And that was the thing. And that always cracked me up because I was like, wait a minute. I was like, whatever happened to case breaks? I said, now we're breaking blaster boxes. You know what I mean?
For the same amount. And it's just been 3 years. Hey, chasing the graph. What's up? He's in. He said hello. Mike's still here. He said, who are you kidding? You have $500 on the Dutch. I'm sure that's soccer reference, and also the gambling. Yes.
3-0 Dutch are going to win.
Oh yeah,
that's my prediction.
It's USA Soccer. I have no
Exactly. They're just going to fail miserably.
We're going to get embarrassed or we're going to surprise. And it's like 30-70, 30 good, 70 bad. It's kind of how I feel about it. So, yeah, my buddy Gerald says he's here. He's just playing Rocket League and it's paying it, just us in the background. But, yeah, I kind of wanted to do something kind of fun. You said basketball, but I'll let you choose. I have some basketball. I have a Prism wrestling. I have elite football or optic basketball. I wanted to open a pack with you, but I want you to, if you can guess a card in there, I will give you the card.
Nice.
I want to kind of play this little game. So, which one do you want to do?
Let's do the optic basketball.
Okay, I got one of these little bad boys.
All right, cool.
So name the player and name the parallel.
The parallel. I plead ignorance when it comes to parallels.
You could just say base, So we got one pack.
I gotta go. I gotta go with my boy. Hey, we talked about him already, so I gotta go with Joel Embiid.
Okay, let's see if we can pull a Joel Embiid.
Rainbow Prism Refactor 1 of 1 _
Do you know who's even good in basketball? Because I sure don't. I mean, I know Jason Tatum's good, but
Yeah,
that's just
Jason
the
Tatum's
base.
good. Yeah, Jay Moran, I guess. Or John Morant. I can't even say his name.
Brandon Clark.
There you go.
Bojan Bogdanovic. Too many white people. Kyrie Irving.
A little controversial.
He is controversial.
Yes.
Spencer Dinwiddie. Sadiq Bey. All right. Looks like a rated rookie of Josh Christopher. He's got two first names, and that's never good. Mikal Bridges.
Nice. Villanova boy.
Jeremiah Robinson Earl.
Who?
That's a kind of a cool card. Zion Williamson, T-.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks nice. Luca. Dallas Mavericks Express Lane.
Nice.
What do we have here? We got a color something. He's upside down. Bogdanovic.
Sweet.
Yes. Yeah, not numbered.
Now match that up with the base. It's the same card.
It's the same card, yes.
It's just a different color.
Where were you, Bogdanovic? Yes. This is Panini does not do the parallels like I like, because there are so many of them. Where was
the Dunris ones are the best with those crazy borders.
It's a different card.
It is.
One's Jazz. Oh, one's Bogdan and one's Bojan.
Oh,
there we go. I did not know there were two different ones.
And the Patriots just missed a field goal.
Kenyon Martin Jr.
There he goes. Wait, Kenyon Martin Jr. He's in the league.
I guess
a son. I'm showing my age now.
Michael Porter Jr. So that's a good card. That's going to go to my PC.
Yeah.
And Aaron Wiggins, rated rookie, blue. Is that Velocity? I don't know. Blue Prism.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I plead ignorance when it comes to parallels because you know my thoughts on parallels.
Yes. I'm okay with parallels. As long as there's not 57 different ones, and as long as you know what they are at first sight, you know what I mean? You're like, okay, this is an orange, this is a blue, this is the not numbered aqua whatever, but we know that, and it's not the Panini where it's like, is this a cracked ice or is this the hyper? Is this the whatever? And then you look at the checklist, people are like, oh, Panini baseball's cheap, so I'll do the rainbow of my favorite player from Panini.
That ain't happening.
And there's 57 different Garrett, IT guy.
Yes.
He was doing it for, his boy, looking at it's Whit Merrifield, right?
Yeah.
And it was like 57 parallels.
That's
and
crazy.
It's just like, what the heck, man? So, Che just dropped in. Ian Sports Cards. He's my best buddy. And then, Gerald is saying he's never been into basketball cards. Yeah, basketball, it's easy for me because if it's Nuggets, I keep it. If it's not Nuggets, I just get rid of it. There aren't other players that I like. I mean, I like Giannis. He seems like a good guy. Seems like he's hard to hate, but some of that's come out. Like he's kind of has the temper. I like Embiid. He's a good player. But I'm not going to collect players. I'm a team guy first and foremost. I'm not a player guy. And I just, like Melvin Gordon, like he was on the Broncos. I liked him for a little bit, and then I didn't like him.
Did he get picked up? Nobody picked him up?
The Chiefs.
Oh, the Chiefs did get him?
Yes, I think the Chiefs picked him up.
The rich get richer.
Yeah, they were talking. A guy I like, Brandon Perna, he does That's Good Sports on YouTube. He was like, oh no, they picked up Melvin Gordon, and Melvin Gordon's going to give them the secrets to the Broncos offense. And it's like, Yeah. And I'm glad they flexed that game out because I can't stand to watch
Yeah, exactly. I
primetime
that's
games and
yeah.
everyone's just shitting on my
That's
team,
why
and it's just like,
tonight was finally like a decent Thursday night game.
yeah,
But it looks like the Bills are going to run away with it.
yeah. Chase said got to 30 cards and said the hell with it. Yes. And Gerald says, yeah, he loves his Yankees, but he's also a player guy in baseball. Baseball is different. Like team sports, yeah, baseball's a team sport, but really it's not. Like basketball and football and hockey, it seems like what you do with your team carries a lot of weight for the Hall of Fame. And then baseball, it doesn't seem to matter much at all, or it matters way too much. It's
Yeah,
kind of weird.
yeah, yeah.
But like Mike Trout, he could keep doing whatever he's doing and he'll get into the Hall of Fame,
Sure,
never
sure.
touching the playoffs again,
Yeah,
probably,
yeah,
and which is a shame. But then it's like, it just means players are more collectible in baseball because you don't have to worry about team success. Whereas
yeah,
like basketball, you kind of do. There are exceptions, LeBron, those kind of transcendent people. But really, if LeBron didn't win anything, he wouldn't be worth anything to collect. No
yeah,
one would
yeah,
care that he was
yeah.
the all-time scorer if he didn't win championships. So it's just different sports, and that's why, like baseball, I'm not going to go out of my way to collect new Nolan Arenado cards, but I would collect, Rockies uniform ones, but I'm not going to be excited for, his autograph in whatever product, and
Yeah.
that's just not for me. So, and I feel you on when you said earlier that you kind of toes out, of the hobby. I like a lot of people are. A lot of people, they've done that craze of 2020, 2021. Cards have dropped off. There's not a lot of excitement. They can go outside now. It's not the pandemic, shutting
Yeah,
down to where
yeah.
you're just spending time doing all that. So, and let's see what's Chase said. That's so weird because baseball is the one sport where individual matter the least in results of the games. Yeah, it's so weird that they're the least important in those games. But then I guess that's why, I don't know. Yeah, pitchers, and then pitchers are worth nothing in the hobby eyes.
Yeah, yeah.
Which
Oh,
is
yeah. That's why you get the most autos of pitch.
yeah. Yeah, so that's funny too. But I think a lot of people are that way. And I kind of want to encourage people to be like, don't think of like you have to be in or out of the hobby. You know what I mean? The hobby's always going to be here
Exactly.
when
Yeah,
you're ready for like,
yeah,
hey, maybe you do want to finish a binder, maybe you do want to complete a set. Okay, come on back. We'll help you out. You'll have your buddies and we'll all trade and we'll try to do whatever we can to help each other out. But I'm gonna make it in the card world, that's kind of gone for a lot of people.
yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
I know a lot of
Yeah,
people
yeah,
were hoping to, get into a card shop or start their own business. And some people are out there still doing it, but it's really is just kind of a side thing. And,
yeah.
crypto and NFTs, it's kind of the same thing. I know not a lot of people are that, but it kind of it
Sure.
trended to the exact same as the
Yeah.
hobby, just like almost everything else did. People were shut down in 2020. We got stimulus checks to buy stupid stuff, really,
Yes.
when you think
Yes.
about it. Even though we love our cards and, it makes us happy to look at.
Pay your rent or buy a hobby box. Come on.
Yeah. But yeah, so I just don't want people to be like, I gotta quit the hobby.
And yeah, and that's the thing. Yeah, it's not. Yeah, because yeah, like you said, it's always going to be there. And that's the thing. Like like I have a small PC of like the Vlad Jr. I have a small PC of like J Rod. Like there's some newer players that I do have PCs of. But I want to say that they're like I'm super like collector. Like I don't have hundreds of cards of those guys, but like some of the newer players, I do have like some of the bigger cards of those guys. Like I make sure I get their first Bowman card, and I try to grab a PSA 10, just to have it in my collection, because I think they're going to be. I think they're special players.
Yeah.
If there's certain guys that I think are going to be special, I'll try to grab their cards. Like I even went back and because Albert was retiring and I got nostalgic. I bought like a PSA 8 of his. What was his card? 2002 Bowman.
2003, I think.
2003 Bowman,
like that. I don't remember.
Whatever year it was. Yeah, I got like a PSA 8, and I got it for like a song. You know what I mean? And I was like, "Come on, it's a PSA 8, but hey, it's Albert." So and then I bought low. Like everybody knows, dived on a Kelenic.
Yes.
So I scooped up a bunch of his stuff because I honestly think he's going to rebound. I think he's going to be one of those post hype sleepers. I don't really necessarily do fantasy baseball anymore, but I still use the analogies, from when I did do fantasy baseball. I think he'll play better than he has, especially in the second. In September, he was like a 300 hitter almost. So So I think he'll actually come around, and the Mariners are finally relevant. I'm kind of excited about that. I miss the days of Griffey and A-Rod and Randy. And those teams. I'm still waiting for Jeter to tag Giambi, and that was the A's, but still, that's a different story for a different day.
Gerald says it's the 01, the 50th year anniversary 01 is.
Okay.
That makes sense. I think 2003 was Miguel Cabrera.
Okay. I couldn't remember what year it was. Whatever one that actually says rookie on it. That's why I thought maybe it was 2000. That's why I thought maybe it was 2002. I could be off though.
I'm not sure.
I just remember. I remember clear as day. Speaking of fantasy baseball, I remember clear as day accidentally picking up Placido Polanco. I want with the full intention of picking up Albert Pujols. I picked up Placido Polanco instead.
I played fantasy baseball 1 year and I won it. And my dad made a shirt because he hated how long the baseball season was in fantasy. It said like 1992 to 2006 fantasy baseball champion.
Well, that's the thing. Especially in baseball, you just have to wait everybody else out. You know what I mean? Because the season's so long, a lot of people come June or come their holidays, they're on vacation in June, then they give up on their teams. And then that's when you pick up all the good players. And then, you just push it over the goal line at the end of the season. So.
Yeah, it was kind of a bummer because my brother died that year, and I played him in the first round of the playoffs. So he had like an empty, injured team. Because he died like that. He died August. So it was like right after, then into the playoffs, and it was. They were mad at me. I was like, I can't do nothing about it. Like, what do we do? I was like, fix this team. I don't care. Yeah. Like take the injured guys out and put healthy guys in. But we didn't do anything. And then because he signed up for fantasy football too. So then we had that whole season of playing with a dead guy in the league. So just remember that that does happen if you play fantasy sports. That people will die.
Now, if he would have won the league, that would have been fucking awesome.
That would have been hilarious. Oh man. He was. I bounced him out, and then in football, I think he didn't go winless. He won, because it's fantasy football. You're gonna get lucky. Yeah. Someone's gonna put up 40 points, and you can't do anything about it. So, and I mentioned earlier, the Phillies, not the Phillies, the Eagles one-loss team. That's crazy to me. I did not expect them to be
And the
that bad.
Redskins of all teams. I mean,
Redskins, yeah.
but that's the thing, though. I mean, I don't care what your records are. Division games are division games.
Hmm.
I mean, case in point, the Chiefs just squeaked by the Raiders, for God's sakes, you
Yep.
know. So I mean, that's the thing. Division games are always going to be different. And actually, the funny thing is, if the season ended today, everybody in the NFC East would make the playoffs.
Yes, that's crazy that they're all in.
So.
The NFC, man.
And then the funny thing is, everybody's like, "Oh, has that ever happened before?" Of course, it hasn't happened before because we never had 3 wild card teams.
Yeah. It's crazy. Well, Rob, I had so much fun talking to you, and I want to talk to you again sometime.
Yeah, I think it was a pleasure, man. Thanks for having me.
We're going to wrap it up here. And anything you want to say, anything you want to mention or shout out or do anything before we go?
Nah, man. I just had to follow me on Twitter, MyManRob1 at MyMan. I'm not for everybody, so I apologize in advance.
But you and I, we use similar tactics. You know, we push it a little, and I used to do this. I would push it a little too far, but then make like walk back, kind of joking, like I was. Joking.
I use self-deprecating humor.
And then once people didn't understand that, like I wasn't serious or I was just joking, then I'd be like, okay, we're not compatible at all. So, Bengals are 7-4, easily the best team in the division. 0-3 division record. Go figure. Yeah, it's the division. You know, they hate
I'm telling,
teams.
Yeah. Because no matter how bad you are, you're going to get up for those division games.
Yeah, Carolina beat the Broncos for 4 wins, but their 3 previous wins were against all the other NFC South teams. They were 3-0 against the NFC South and 0 and everyone. You know, but you know, Broncos come around and that'll help heal your loss column there.
Who's your Super Bowl?
My Super Bowl, who I think or who I want? I want.
Well, yeah. At the beginning of the season, did you pick any teams?
No.
At the beginning of the season, I had 49ers Bills as my Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And as much as I love my Eagles, I might actually still stick with that. I mean, the 49ers, getting CMC, I think that kind of puts them in a different stratosphere.
Yes.
But that's the thing. I think the only team that can beat the Eagles is the Eagles. Yeah. And that's what scares me about that team sometimes is that sometimes I think the coach is a little conservative in his play calling, so they don't always push the pedal to the metal. So that's what concerns me about the playoffs, because no matter, they always say defense wins championships, but you still got to put up points. So.
Yeah, Chase says 49ers Bills is a great pick. I was probably going to be on the Bills preseason, like the Bills winning it all is kind of how I felt. I would still do Bills 49ers. I would like the 49ers to win because Kyle Shanahan. I like Kyle Shanahan. You know, he's history and family here. I'm okay with anyone but the Patriots and the Chiefs winning it.
I agree with the
Raiders and the Chargers. No AFC West and no Patriots. I hate the Patriots. I hate all Boston teams because they were all so lucky in that short little. Their fans got real chirpy. So but they're good people though. You know, like it's so funny because, you know, like I hate the Chiefs so much, but some of my best friends in the hobby are Chiefs fans, you know?
Yes.
I hate the Patriots so much, but some of my best friends are Patriots fans. So you just kind of got to dial back and separate the emotion there, which is hard for me.
I just can't believe how many people follow me that are Cowboy fans. Don't get Mike Minato started on the Cowboys.
I like to joke that no one has blocked me more than Broncos fans because I was not on the Drew Lock train. I was like, Drew Lock he's not good, guys. Like, don't.
Well, see, I mean, I'm a Philadelphia fan, but I'm also a realist.
Yes.
So I'm never going to pump up my teams. I'm going to try to keep it as real as possible.
Yeah.
And some people see that as fake fandom. I see that I'm just being a real fan. Like, that's my honest opinion. You know, I'm never going to think my team's better than anybody else if they're not. You know what I mean?
So, for sure. So. Man, I sure do love you, man. And I want to talk to you again. I'm going to try to do this Tom show more often, get more people, have some more fun, open some more cards, do some more crazy stuff. So
Dude, that hat rocks, man. That hat
thank
rocks.
you. I wore the hat because I was self-conscious about being on an internet show with Che and Goldline Cards. They wanted me to be a guest, and I was like, I have low self-esteem. I look like an idiot. And then I was like, but if I put on like a stupid tie and sunglasses and a hat, then I already look like an idiot going into it. People can't hurt my feelings when they're like, Tom, you look stupid as fuck. And I'm like, yeah, that's the point. That's my armor. Pardon my language. For PG-13,
I
we
hear
get
you.
one F word per show for
you.
PG-13. But that was it. You know, that was to build, and it's been helpful. And the sunglasses, what it's really for is because no one looks at the camera. I'm looking at you.
That is true. That is
but
true.
with the sunglasses on, I'm looking at you, and it looks like I'm looking at the camera.
There you go. There you
So
go.
that helps.
True professional right there.
You know, because it looks like I'm making eye contact with the audience. Because that was always bugging me. Because I'd be like talking to a guest, and then like
you're like,
and you know, if you just put the sunglasses on, they can't tell. And then you could look over here at chat, and then you could look over here, and now I'm all blurry.
There you go. Yeah.
But yeah, so. Thank you so much for coming on.
I appreciate you having me, man.
Sorry we didn't get your Joel Embiid card. I would love to send you out. I had a cool one, but I think I sold it on eBay. It was a 75th little diamond blue insert thing. But yeah, go follow my man Rob on Twitter if you are mature and can handle sarcasm and someone that is grumpy sometimes, but mostly joking. Like Tom. if you could tolerate me, you could tolerate Rob. Rob thinks he's more extreme than me. He's just the same as me. He might be more opinionated. I've backed off on that because that's how you make enemies, and I'm tired of fighting enemies.
Yes.
So I try to be more, like, okay, cool. I'm gonna let it go. I don't need to argue. I don't care that much about whatever, but so yeah, we're gonna end it there. I'm actually gonna jump on and play some video games.
Dude, have fun, man.
Stick around. But yeah, I'm gonna take a little break and then jump back on and hunt some ghosts or something. But yes, I love you guys. Thank you again, Rob, for coming. This is long overdue.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man.
And I had so much fun, and I want to get to. I was not on my A game as a host and interviewer, so I apologize. That's why I want to do it again.
No worries. Yeah,
we'll start the show again, and
absolutely.
I do a little better job of like digging to where I want to dig. So
I hear you.
All right, guys.
All right,
thank
man.
you so
Be good.
much for watching.
Take care of yourself. All right.
Yes, I will. You do the same.
Yes. All right.